David, if you know that you are a millionaire now, I would have said that because you are the first person to join, that I should give you a gift. But you are a millionaire, so I don't think that all those small money. I don't think that you like all those small money. So don't worry, you'll find. You know now, yeah, you know I always support you. So we'll find another way for me to. Yeah. So will you, David? Will you be in Abuja for the clarity session? Give me my gift. Yes. Now I'm thinking about the. I'm thinking about the gift that best fits you, Joe. Calm down. So if you be at the clarity session, at my clarity session in Abuja for end of July, that would be nice, so that I can, so that you can take a whole slot for yourself, and then maybe I can give you one other slot to determine who comes. All right, and then you can get to ask me funny philosophical questions. At least I know that most people want to ask me about money. Yeah, it's going to be the last weekend in July, either the Thursday or the Friday or the Saturday. But I'll definitely let you know. Definitely let you know. Yeah. So that's your gift for being the first person to be live. So we just need to have like 5, and then we just shoot. But while we are waiting, I can start to do the recap, because I assume that everybody. Thank you. That can be your gift too. I can lay hands on you and you can have big beards like this one. I wish it was transferable. I wish I can actually lay hands on people and impact it. Please, I need to become a beard ambassador for a beard oil company. So anyway, they will come, they will come. Just a matter of time. It's a beard ambassador. Does it work? It didn't make my beard shine. Okay. So to do a recap on yesterday, so that we can, So yesterday I spent setting template for what capacity actually means. Yeah, what capacity actually means, because the word capacity, we use it a lot. We just say capacity building, capacity. People don't actually know the meaning of capacity. They don't know what it means to have capacity. They don't know what it means to have capacity. So I wanted to demystify that. Let it be that if you are talking about capacity, you know exactly what you are saying. And we went from the obvious dictionary meaning yesterday to some salient meanings that are not necessarily readily available. Peter, good to have you around though. Welcome, Peter. I didn't greet you when you came in. Welcome, Peter Bless. Peter Bless is a relationship expert. Knows a lot about relationship. Peter Bless does love. He speaks the language of love. Yeah, so if you want to know about love, just ask Peter Bless. Relationship, just ask Peter Bless. Peter Bless, I think I should invite you to speak on how to get married in 12 months, which is something that I'm working on, and then we will do. Super Express Kitchen, Mr. Olasunde, you're welcome. Super Express Kitchen, you're welcome. So yeah, so it will be nice. So yesterday we did a recap on exactly what capacity is, other than the dictionary meaning. Dictionary meaning says that capacity is maximum volume a thing can take. That's to say maximum containment. And then dictionary meaning also says that it could mean maximum output, maximum thing that a thing can put out. All right, so we agree that that's what, of course, we agree with the dictionary meaning of capacity. But we now said that people don't know that the key word there is maximum. All that you can. That's the meaning of capacity. Capacity means all that you can. But because you are not a thing, so if you were to talk about capacity when it comes to human being, you realize that human beings can combine containment, that is volume, holding something, being able to be filled with something, and also output, also giving out, also producing. So human beings are one of the few things in quotes that can do that can apply capacity in both areas, in the area of what you can get, what you can contain, and then in also what you can give out. And I said that if you were to draw a straight line between those 2 points, you realize that there are middle points. One of the middle points is the capacity to receive, because everything that the person possibly needs is already around him. The people who help you, they are already alive, so to say. The people who help you now are already alive, because if there's somebody who was going to help you now and is not alive now, it means that you don't have help. So it's not possible. All people that are going to help you, they're already alive. They're already alive. They're already alive. They're already here. In fact, you've already met them. You know, I mean, that kind of a thing. All right. And then so we established that people don't understand that the first capacity that a man has to build is the capacity to receive, which is premised on the capacity to convert, which takes us capacity to convert, which I explained that human beings are converters. That is who you are. That is what you are. That is why you eat. And you say you eat, whereas what you're doing is that you are converting chemical energy into other kinds of energy. And some people don't see emotions as energy. And I've explained when I was talking about the energy of Monica that thing that you call emotions is actually, you know, energy in motion. You have to see emotions as energy in motion, moving energy that is moving from one person to another. Okay? And then so if you see yourself as a converter, you work better, because you understand that you're not a bounce back. You're not a bounce back. You're not something. So they give you anger, you send anger back. Have you noticed how if you eat now and you are full, and then something infuriates you and you are angry, or maybe you are thinking, very soon you are going to get hungry. You didn't leave where you sat, but you are hungry. How can you be hungry? Where did it go? He went to thinking, or he went to what you expressed in your anger. It went to anger, which means that you have converted chemical energy to emotions, or you have converted chemical energy to thought, to the energy of thought. Okay, so if you understand that you are a converter, you understand that your job is to receive. Sometimes what you receive may not necessarily be positive. So it is your job to convert that which you receive to something that is desirable to you or important for your future. We were able to establish all of those yesterday. All right? Good. And then I now want to go to the higher level of capacity, because I need you to understand. And what I want to talk about today is mostly premised on what I call the capacity of growth. The capacity of growth. The capacity of growth. The capacity of growth. So now, I'd never mentioned anything about growth yesterday, because I didn't want to confuse you at all. I didn't want to mix growth with all those deep stuff that we were talking about yesterday. I didn't want to now add growth with which one is growth again? I'm a converter. I'm always receiving. I must have capacity to receive. Everything's already around me, and then I need to convert. So that I convert something, you are still battling with, okay, what does it mean for me to convert something that is desirable in my future, or important, desirable to me, or important to my future? What does it mean? And now you are talking about growth. Now that's why I left you alone yesterday to internalize all of that we have explained about capacity. And I know that you agree with me. I know that everybody here agree with me, because otherwise you'll not be here this morning. Okay? So the good thing now is that we now want to go to discuss the capacity for growth. Let me tell you, human beings are the only species of animals that still takes milk as an adult. Human beings are the only species of animal that still takes milk as an adult. Maybe now they give cats milk, but ordinarily, if you didn't serve cats with milk, the lions, who are like the major cats, TD official one, you're welcome. TD official one, you're welcome. Please, can you tell us your name so I can know your name? You're somebody that I'm probably seeing for the first time on this challenge, so please let us know your name. All right, so human beings are the only animals that still take milk after they're no longer infants. which means that all animals know that you give milk to somebody who is unable to take in things and convert. That thing that you call digestion. So the idea of not being able to convert means that you give somebody milk. Milk is something that a person who is a child because the person is at a low level of conversion ability. Is at a low level of conversion capacity. That's why you give them milk. That's why when a baby lion, a cub, and things like that, when they're giving birth, they are fed on milk. So that's why whether you are an herbivorous or whether you are a carnivorous animal, whatever you feast, what's what happens is that you are fed on milk. Okay? And after a while, you are weaned off milk, and then you start to eat grass like your mom if you are a goat. You understand? But I'm trying to show you something here. I'm trying to show you that even when it comes to conversion, which is a broad place when we talk about capacity, that even when it comes to that, even animals understand that conversion is a function of growth. There has to be a point when you have grown to a point where you can now convert. So it is very, very important for you to understand that conversion is something that also grows. Where am I going with this? Let me tell you. See, in life, in nature, growth is something that everybody or everything is used to. It is only humans that underplay the concept of growth. Now, it means that there is what you call the capacity to grow. Now, if you were to talk about height, which is like the lowest level of growth as far as I'm concerned, like growing in height, growing in length, or growing in size is the lowest level of growth. But I want to show you something that even if you are to consider growth in height, which is actually the lowest level of growth, one of the things that you realize is that people may be wired genetically to grow faster or to grow tall, and then some people are not wired genetically to grow. Now, when you say somebody is wired by genetics to grow tall, what it means is that something in that person's genetics has enabled the person to convert nutrients better than other people. So if you see a person, for example, who grew tall or who is tall, is because his genetics has programmed his body to be able to convert food better. Because when a person is short, it's not because the person did not eat food. Okay? It's not because the person did not eat food. It's because if somebody who's supposed to tall, you can give somebody two people the same portion of food. A person who is genetically wired to be tall will be tall because he'll be able to convert the nutrients. But the person who is genetically wired not to be tall will not be able to convert the nutrients. So you can see that growth is a function of conversion. Okay? Now, I also explained to you yesterday that apart from physical things like size, like height, every other thing you have capacity to change. That means that human beings always have the capacity to get capacity. The only thing that may be missing is the information of what kind of capacity to be gotten. Do you remember I told you yesterday? Very good. Now, let me now go fully into what I want to talk about. Praise the Lord, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me now go fully into what I want to talk about. Let me now go fully into what I want to talk about today. I'm coming. Let me see what I can do. All right. So let me now go into what I want to talk about today, like growth itself, the capacity for growth. And I want to show you something. And this has to blow your mind. This not only will blow your mind, this is something that you have to consciously begin to apply. Remember, the goal of this challenge is to teach secrets that you can begin to apply immediately, because you have come to a particular knowledge of as to why or what or how or the benefits of certain conscious efforts, and how they matter to your life and matter to your goals or matter to your dreams, and most especially matter to your purpose. Now, growth. There are two types of growth. In medicine, in the whole world, everything, there are two broad concepts of growth. There is a growth in size. I will explain it. It's not the size of body size. I will explain it. I'll explain it, but I want you to put it down. There is a growth in size, there's a growth by size, that a thing gets bigger, or that the thing functions better, or that the thing acquires better, which means receives better, or that the thing increases in capacity of volume. So you can take 1 cup now, before you are full. Now you can grow to become being able to take 2 cups before you are full. So that is what I mean by increase in capacity, increase in size, increase in size, increase in size of function, increase in size of volume that you can contain, increase in the space that you occupy, increase in size. That's one. Now, before I go to the second increase, let me tell you, in science, in science, they call something atrophy, is called something dystrophy. Okay? Atrophy means reduction in size. And then they call something disuse atrophy. I'm going to explain this to you. Please, I need you to pay careful attention, because I want to show you something very, very, very important. Because you see, the people who understand these things, they behave better than people who don't understand it. They attract better results. They see life differently. They see people better. They enjoy life much more better. They give better. They do life better. People who don't understand it are enclosed in a terrible place in their mind, and they are wondering why things are not happening for them. People who understand this always celebrate better birthdays. People who don't understand this always celebrate poorer birthdays. It has nothing to do with how much money you have at particular times. So there is first the growth in size. Now, there is now growth by replication. There is now what? Growth by replication. Growth by replication. Which means that one is capacity to improve self. One is capacity to improve self. The other is what? Capacity to improve others. One is capacity to become the best version of yourself, which means that you try to become maximum. And then maximum keeps changing, because you can take 2 today, tomorrow you will be able to take 4. And so you keep growing. And then that is what you call, oh, please help me on the gen, please. Right. Okay, so let me on the lights. Let me open the window blind so that, okay, you guys are just seeing me. Oh, very good. Very good. All right. Right. So it means that growth is in 2 places. Capacity for growth is in 2 places. Capacity for growth is in 2 places. Capacity to improve self, capacity to improve others. Now, capacity to improve self is not difficult. It is simply that you constantly, painstakingly make sure that you get better. And you start it with your capacity to receive, and then you take it to the capacity to convert, and then you take it to other capacity, which improves, therefore, the capacity of your produce and the capacity of what you can. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, we're back. All right. Sorry about that coming. Okay. All right. So now, let me tell you, you must pay attention to both kinds of growth, and all the kinds of growth. These 2 kinds of growth must happen pari passu. Which means that as you are improving yourself, you must be improving others. And it is in improving others that you replicate. Let me show you something. I want to show you something. There is human beings. Human beings are the highest level of evolution if you face science. If you use Christianity, which I believe in, human beings are the masterpiece of God's creation. But if you break species down to cellular organisms. You have what you call, for example, the unicellular organism. That is an organism that has only one cell. So this whole entity is just one cell. This whole entity is just one cell. No problem. Like amoeba. All right. Very good. Now, an amoeba can grow and become big. Can grow and become big. And then, but there is how big it can become. Do you understand? There's how big can a cell become. No matter how big a cell is, you still have to use a microscope to look at it. The only cells that are big that you don't need microscope to look at are eggs. Maybe the biggest cell is the ostrich egg. It's the biggest cell. But I'm not talking about a cell that is not yet living as to needing the fusion of sperm, meaning fertilization. I'm talking about something that is alive. How big can a cell be? Small. Good. Now take human beings. Human beings are a bundle of trillions of cells. You know, when a man releases sperm, he releases about over 100 million cells just in the sperm cell. So you can imagine how many cells makes up a human being. Whereas when you start out as human being, in your mother's womb, you start as just complete cell, like a cell from your mom, a cell from your dad, one complete cell, chromosome, full chromosome, XY if you are male, XS if you are female. Please pay attention. I want to show you something. So now that's how you start. Let's assume that you want to. Please, can you give me 1 second, please? 1 second. I'll be back shortly, please. All right. Thank you very much for the short break. I heard that a short recess. Okay, so now you started out as a complete cell. You started your life out as a complete cell in your mother's womb. Pay attention. I want to show you that those capacities for growth, there are principles that got you here. But you are not going further than this place because you don't know those principles. They were just something that you applied by programming. But now that you are here, you don't know those principles as life principles, so you are not applying them. And because you are not applying them, you are not self-actualizing. You are not becoming all that you can become. Capacity. All that you can become is a capacity of existence. Which is, we are supposed to finish it today, but I've mentioned it now. So see me now. I'm going to go and mention it. There's what you call capacity of existence. But I'll come there. But the point is that, so you apply these principles as a fetus. But now that you're here, nobody told you the principle or brought it out like this to you. So you did not know that you are supposed to keep applying these principles. So I want to show you how you apply those principles. If when you are a cell, a complete cell in your mother's womb, if all that you did was that you decided to grow big as a cell, two things will happen. One, they will never give birth to you. Secondly, you will never be human because you're never going to have a head, neither will you have a leg. If all you did was you just grew bigger, you just grew bigger. If all you did was that you just grew bigger as a cell in your mother's womb, they will not even know that your mom was pregnant because Tommy, how big can you get? Your mom is not as big as an ostrich, so you cannot be as big as an ostrich egg. Pata, you will just be like the size of of this pregnant Wi-Fi, this Mi-Fi something maximum, and you are not even as big as a food, which means that nobody is going to even know that your mom was pregnant. And if they did give birth to you like that, you will not be human. They will say that your mom has given birth to a monster, a midget monster. What does that tell you? It tells you that when you were in your mother's womb as a fetus, one thing that you did was to grow in size. The other thing that you did was to replicate. That is, one cell becoming 2 cells. And each of those 2 cells becoming 4 cells. And each of those 4 cells becoming 2, which means that you go from 1 to 2, and then from 2 to 4, and then from 4 to 8, and then from 8 to 16. We call it binary fission in biology. Now, that tells you that what happens is that as these cells begin to replicate, they begin to find their identity. So there comes a point where some cells realize that we are egg, and then some cells realize that we are hair follicles. And then some cells realize that, oh, we are muscles. And then some cells realize that, oh, we are blood cells. And then some cells realize that, oh, we are intestinal tissue cells. And then some cells realize that, oh, we are lungs. And then some cells realize that, oh, we are eyes. And then some cells realize that we are olfactory senses. And then some cells realize that, oh, we are tongue. We are tongue tissue cell of the tongues. So it means that there is no way that you should not pay attention to the capacity of growth in those 2 ways. First, to improve yourself as to increasing what you are able to give, what you are able to receive, what you are able to convert, what you are able to hold, and then to help others also do the same thing. There is nobody who is going to be a great leader who is unable to replicate. At the worst case scenario, you have to be able to replicate your vision. At the worst case scenario, you have to be able to cast your vision, replicate the need for your vision in others. That is how you grow. There is no way you could grow in one way of the 2. You can't replicate yourself if you are nothing. And then if you are something, you can't become fully something until you are able to replicate yourself in others. So, it means that, what this means is that the capacity for growth is first to see the growth in yourself and then to see the growth in other people. How do you know that this was good? How do you know that this is necessary? How did Christianity become something that took over the world? Replication. Jesus replicated in 3 disciples, and then replicated in 12 disciples, and then replicated in 70 disciples, and then 70 disciples replicated in several thousands, and then several thousands replicated until we are billions. So even if God, Jesus for example, could not grow without replication, what do you think will happen to you? What do you think will happen to you? What do you think will happen to you? If Jesus could not maximize, Jesus, the Son of God, like God in human form, if he could not do anything without replication, what is giving you the guts to undermine the place? Yemi, you're welcome. What is giving you the gumption, the guts to undermine the place of growth, capacity for growth, when it comes to capacity to see growth in others? What gives you the guts to undermine that? Because the highest level of capacity, which is where I'm going to round up today, the highest level of capacity is a capacity of existence, self-actualization, to become all that you can become. There is no way you will become all that you can become if you do not break it into smaller units of what becoming means. Which invariably means that you must put together all the kinds of capacity that I have explained so that you can have what you call the capacity of existence, becoming all that you could ever become. Now, what will make sure that you become all that you can become is to help other people become all that they can become. Is replication capacity. Growth by replication. Helping other people become like you are or better than you are. helping other people find themselves, helping other people find their identity, giving other people purpose for the time being, giving other people supporting purpose that helps other people to find their purpose. There is no way when you start out, for example, when you start out and you have a company and you employ people. If you employ men, for example, it means that you are helping a particular father be a father. That's a purpose. That's a purpose for every male. Every male was meant to be a father. So if you do that, that means that you have helped that person to achieve purpose. This is why your organization will grow. You can take it a step further and help that person become a better leader. If you help the person become a better leader, that means he's going to lead more people. If a person in your organization leads more people, that means that your organization will grow in numbers of staff strength, in numbers of people. If you have products that help people to feel better about themselves or feel good, that means that they are helping people find themselves in the place of self-esteem. Today, your task is to focus on the capacity for growth. And your task this morning is simple. Your task this morning is simple. Write 3 areas in which you need to grow. 1. Write 3 areas in which you need to grow. 2. Write 3 areas in which you have things that you can replicate in other people. Is it patience? Do you just have patience? Can you find people that you can teach patience? And say, look, this patience thing, this is how I'm doing it. This patience thing, this is what I used to think in my mind that allows me to be patient. And then so that is 1, 2 tasks. The other 3 tasks is for you to identify how you want to do that. So identify 3 areas you want to grow. Identify people around you, maybe 3 people around you that you want to help grow. And then highlight 3 hours. What areas do you want to grow? What people do you want to help grow? How do you want to achieve the 1 and 2 above? Those are your tasks for today. What did we discuss today? We discussed that capacity is at its finest level when you can attain capacity of existence. That is becoming all that you can become, maximum person that you can ever be. That's the capacity of existence. But that capacity of existence is not possible if you do not take into consideration the 2 capacities of growth that brought you into existence. How are you brought into existence? You are brought into existence by increase in size and by replication. Your cells started out as a single cell, and you decide to break into 2, and you grow bigger, and then you broke more, and then you grow bigger, and then you broke more. Which means that the capacity of existence is the capacity of growth. And the capacity of growth is in 2 ways. The capacity of increased size, which means to increase in function and capabilities. And then the capacity of growth via replication. If you understand this summary, please put it on the group. Say, I understand, and write out what you have understood. Because this is very, 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 very important. This is very, 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 very important because this will take us to the next things that we are going to be discussing. So if you understand all that I have said, I need to see it on the screen. I need to see it on the screen that you understand. You can send your summary there so that I know that you got this. 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 Thank you very much. You guys are wonderful. We have even used 35 minutes. I thought we were going to use 30 minutes. And I thought, wow, I thought today was short. I thought I just used 10 minutes. God, why did I use 36 minutes to explain? My people. I love you guys. You guys are really wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. You're wonderful. I could not have done this without you. I appreciate you. I do not take you for granted. Neither do I take your time for granted. You are wonderful. I am particularly invested in your progress. I am invested in seeing you succeed. Thank you so much. 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 Thanks so much. Thank you so much. All right, righty.